This is a New York City FC pregame live. Tonight, New York City kick off a 3-match road trip against FC Cincinnati. And now, here are your hosts, Glenn Crooks and Matty Lawrence.
And welcome, everyone. TQL Stadium, the site of this one. I'm Glenn Crooks along with Matty Lawrence. There it is. That's pretty much our vantage point, taking that directly from our radio booth here in Cincinnati. The Queen City, when in 1819, the local Inquirer called it the Queen City West because it was just this delightful place on the banks of the Ohio River. That's all I know about why it's the Queen City. I don't think that's very deep in its understanding, but that's what I read, Matty. You know, and we have to study all aspects of the broadcast, including where we are. And where we are is a site where New York City has had some positive moments. Their most recent trip here was a 1-0 win in the regular season last August on an Alonso Martinez goal. Now, the good news regarding Martinez, he eventually tore his ACL on international break, and he's been out ever since until this past Monday. He returned to full training and was smiling. It was a wonderful experience for all, I'm sure, over 18 months sideline with the knee. So Martinez scored here. He's not going to play here, but that was one of the positive stories coming off what was a really difficult result against Philadelphia, Matty.
Yeah. If we can forget about the game for a little bit, yes, it's wonderful to see Alonso Martinez back. Pascal Janssen has said we being him and the club and the medical staff, got to respect the injury, and I think that's right for supporters as well. I don't expect too much too soon from Alonso Martinez. It's a really serious injury and one that almost has inevitable setbacks along the way as he develops into more contact training, then maybe playing for the reserves, and then trying to integrate himself into the first team. But you're absolutely right. It's all smiles on the training ground when you have a player of the quality of Alonso Martinez starting his slow return, because it will be a slow return, I would imagine, Glenn.
Yeah, and I wanted to just share with you Pascal Janssen's. He had some thoughts on it, and it's in regard to, and I'm sorting it out here. But I don't see it anymore. I have these things. Aha, there it is. Thank you, Matty. It's also a problem seeing, but no, I thought it was a proper question of Pascal, because up 2-0, lose 3 to Philadelphia at home before this game, and the very next day, you get the smiling Alonso Martinez on the training pitch again.
Monday was his first training session back with the team, so that was a spark for sure. You could see he was enjoying himself because he's been training by himself or one extra player and a lot of individual sessions. But when he joined the rest of the team on Monday, he had smiles all over, and the drills that were designed were especially for him as well. And we hope he can be part of the team again as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But like I've mentioned, you have to respect the injury as well.
How'd he look? I mean, now that he's kind of rolled into it.
Yeah, very good. But he's a quality player with a severe injury that he's been dealing with. So again, we have to respect the time that it needs to get back at the level that we all know he can be at.
All right, and starting at the number 9, which was Martinez's position before he went down, is a 20-year-old Luigi, making his second consecutive start at striker. So he's moving closer and closer to full-time activity, it would seem, Matty.
Yeah, and he looks pretty impressive so far. He hasn't looked so impressive in front of goal. He obviously got off the mark from 12 yards out, the unopposed penalty kick. But what he does do very, very well is something we haven't had at NYCFC, the fans that is. They haven't had a true, in my opinion, almost an old-fashioned number 9 who likes to play with his back to goal. He's more than that. He's not just a big lump up there to hold the ball up and lay it off.
Right.
He's more than that. He likes to play on the half turn as well. But he can accept the ball into his thigh, into his feet, into his chest, and hold it up, even under the battering of a centre half or two, which we haven't seen really for well, a long time. David Villa wasn't that type of centre forward either. I'm not sure there's been one. Castellanos wasn't quite that either. He slowly was developing.
Inga Berget, was he? He might have been the closest to it.
Was as close as you could get, but Luigi's already, you would think, a better prospect than him. Look, what he is he's 20 years old. He's inexperienced. He hasn't played much football. When he has played for Palmeiras, that's really been in their state league. It hasn't been in their top league. It hasn't particularly been in the Copa Libertadores. He has experienced Libertadores play, but not a great deal. But from what we've seen and his awareness of the players around him, Glenn, because it doesn't just need to be two touch with him, it can be one touch. But he does secure the ball. More often than not, he secures the ball. And as a centre forward, that's my number one thing. Well, apart from the scoring goals, can you secure the ball? When the ball comes up to you, you've got to secure it. It can't go up to you and then just come straight back again. And that's the good thing about him. He can hold on to the ball and bring other players into the game as well.
And we're also going to see, so he's a U22 initiative signing on loan with the option to buy what looks like a wonderful deal struck by Todd Donovan and the club. Meanwhile, there's a designated player, Benny Traore, who we're still trying to sort out, but he does get a little more comfortable each match, and he's getting another start at it today. And he will be on the left side and Agustino Haidt on the right with Luigi up the middle. So it's a 22-year-old on the right, a 22-year-old up the middle, and a 23-year-old on the left. Not a whole lot of experience there, but there is some dynamic play on the flanks and that hold-up play and some of the trickery that we see and maybe some finishing other than from the penalty spot. So Luigi and Traore both score for the spot. That gave New York City a 2-0 lead in that Philadelphia match. So they can't really celebrate their first goals with the club post-game, right?
No, they can't. Look, quietly in the corner of the changing room, you pat yourself on the back and say, right, I'm underway. But that's it. You're absolutely right, Glenn. You're not celebrating scoring a goal when you lose the game, and it was from the penalty spot as well. They will hope to get goals in open play, but I think you're absolutely right about Traore as well. He's looked more and more comfortable with every passing game. And look, the games have come thick and fast as well, so let's see how he does tonight. But I do like the fact that slowly but surely we are seeing his confidence in himself to take on defenders. It took Ojeda a long while for him to get confident. Let's not forget that. And already we're seeing it from Traore. He doesn't mind facing up a defender and running at him. And that's what we want from Traore. He has got good feet. He is quick over the first 5 or 10 yards. So let's see it.
So this match tonight, we just referenced the Philadelphia Union 3-2 win at Yankee Stadium on Sunday. And it had to be at least somewhat demoralizing. It's 2-0 at the interval. And then not ready for a free kick 2 minutes into the second half. That was admitted by Pascal Janssen. And then 2 individual errors that, with other things going on, but errors, losing the ball in the center of the park, almost always leads to some possibility for the opponent. And Philadelphia,
especially when they're Philadelphia, right?
Yeah,
that's what Philadelphia want.
Right?
They want to make it anxious in the middle of the park, and then when they win the ball, we see how well they counter. And it happened twice. You're right. It's still 60 yards from your own goal, but you've given the ball away twice. Malachi Jones once, Max Murray once, and it ends up in the back of your net. And that's what you have to cut out of your game when you're playing against Philadelphia Union. Unfortunately, they kept it in their game sort of time and time again, NYCFC.
So Calvin Sullivan, the 16-year-old, a couple of assists. His brother Quinn, coming off of ACL surgery like Martinez, but now he's back competing. He had an assist, so it was a Sullivan Street affair for Philadelphia. And Calvin Sullivan versus Lionel Messi tonight. 15 games, all 30 teams are in action, and those starting on the East: Columbus, Montreal, DC, New England, the next opponent for New York City after this one tonight. Orlando, Chicago, that's Griezmann against Lewandowski. Philadelphia, Inter Miami, so that's at Subaru Park. And Red Bulls at home to Nashville, Toronto, and Charlotte. So a number of those teams ahead of New York City, a couple just below. So although we don't count the points maybe just yet in that vital way, we're still in the summer, we're still in August. But New York City, we've seen that ebb and flow of their streakiness along the way. And out of the World Cup break, 2 wins and a draw, and then this disappointing result.
Yeah, it's been disappointing in terms of the back end of the League's Cup and then taken that into MLS. And it's even more disappointing when you're 2-0 up at home then, when it's almost Fortress Yankee Stadium. Whatever we think about the pitch there, whatever opposition players think about the pitch, doesn't matter. That has been a solid foundation of why NYCFC have been good for the last decade, 11 years. And to give up that lead and capitulate like they did, it's not good enough. And we need to see, I think, well, not you and I, but the watching public and the coaching staff need to see a reply, a retort today, because you said it's somewhat demoralising. I'd go one further. It will have been incredibly demoralising in the dressing room after the game. 45 minutes of play, you've given up 3 goals and 3 points at home, your home stadium. You don't want to do that. It's now how quickly can they forget about that, and hopefully they forgot about it on Monday. They moved on, maybe had a little bit of a post-mortem, and then they were working towards tonight's game against FC Cincinnati. How strong are you mentally? Can you forget that bad 45 minutes and get a result here today? A point is a good result here today, Glenn, against this
I would say,
Cincinnati team.
I would say. And then if you go back to April 22nd, so this is the end of their season series. The game at Yankee Stadium ended in a draw. This here is the Tylus Magno celebration. Just his second goal since coming back on loan from New York City at the time. And it made the score 4-2 in favor of NYC. And FC Cincinnati scored twice in stoppage time. Sharilla, a 17-year-old, he has turned 18 years old since. And Evander, one of his 11 goals on the year, and it was from the penalty spot. 6 of his 11 are from outside the area. So you wonder when he's that close if it's a little more difficult for him. But he's had an unbelievable year. He'll be starting tonight along with Kevin Denke. There was a story that FC Cincinnati turned down a $15 million offer from Hull City. And on the New York City side, Matty, Nico Fernandez-Murkow is back. So he's back in the lineup. Yellow card suspension. He served that against Philadelphia. Kevin O'Toole will start in place of Nico Cavallo at left back, and Raul Gustavo in for Max Murray, who had started 4 straight. Thiago Martins left home again along with Hannes Wolf, so they're still on the injured list. Not sure about their availability this weekend against New England, but we have Raul Gustavo back in a starting role and in an important position against a very high-scoring team, tied with Miami for goals scored in MLS.
Yeah, 46 goals scored, and you're absolutely right. I think Gustavo brings some quality back there, but more importantly for me, he balances it up. He's a naturally left-footed player, allows Sands to go onto the right-hand side. Sands right-footed, Gustavo left-footed, 2 experienced players, but Gustavo's coming back from injury. How fit is he? Is he going to last 90 minutes? You would think not, but let's see how it plays out. Without Thiago Martins, the back 4 looks incredibly susceptible. It looks susceptible at times when he is playing. So when he isn't skippering, when he isn't there in the heart of the defence, it can look a little worrying at times. And you go back to that 4-4 game at Yankee Stadium, you look at the starting lineup. Thiago Martins started, Aidan O'Neill, Kai Truen, Hannes Wolf, Maxi Morales. 5 incredibly good players, experienced players as well, all missing today, all injured. That's quite phenomenal. 50% of the starting outfield.
Aidan O'Neill had 2 assists in that game.
Exactly. So you're missing some very, very good players as well. We cannot rule that out either, but there's no excuses. We're a long way down the line now in MLS. All teams are going to have injuries and suspensions, and you've got to deal with them. They didn't deal with the suspension of Fernandez-Murkow in the last game. They've got to make sure that with Fernandez-Murkow back in the team, Gustavo back in the team, that they get something. And as I say, a point is a good result here because FC Cincinnati have not had a good season, but they're always good here at TQL Stadium.
They've lost their 6-2-1 thus far at home in 2026. So quickly, for New York City, Matt Freese will be the captain again. He wears the armband in place of Thiago Martins, who is out. James Sands, Kevin O'Toole, Tavon Gray, Raul Gustavo, Nico Fernandez-Murkow, Andres Pereira, Keaton Parks, Benny Traore, Luigi, and Augustino Hayter for Pascal Janssen. For FC Cincinnati, Roman Celentano in goal. His goals against average is 2.24. How do you sleep at night? Miles Robinson, Matt Miazga, Kyle Smith. They play three at the back, and those are your three central defenders. Obina Wobodo, outstanding midfielder. Evander, he's the captain, MVP candidate without question.
Yes.
Gerardo Valenzuela in the midfield. Kevin Denke up top. He's got 11 goals to match the 11 of Evander. Kenji Mdoma Dem, Pavel Buka, who scored in the last game, the 1-1 draw with Orlando City, and Ender Enchenike. So that is a strong attacking group.
It's a very
good in the
strong,
air on set pieces.
Yeah, exactly. They are very, very strong, and certainly at home they're strong. We've mentioned the amount of goals they've scored, but even at home you're going to get chances against this FC Cincinnati side. You said about the goals against that Celentano has received. About 2.25 per game he concedes. When you're trying to be the number one goalkeeper for the US men's national team, you don't want to be letting in that many.
No.
That is for certain. But here at home, they've let in 19 goals in 9 games. So that's even that. At home here, where they're strong, they've let over 2 goals per game in. So you will get opportunities. For me, it's important that you keep the scoring down to a minimum here, because not only have FC Cincinnati found it difficult to keep clean sheets this season, they've only kept 2. NYCFC have found it very, very difficult to keep clean sheets as well, Glenn.
New York City leads the overall series against Cincinnati. It is a series that dates back to 2019, which was Cincinnati's first season in MLS. In fact, Cincinnati, when they play tonight against New York City, it'll mark all competitions the most games they've played against any opponent in Major League Soccer. Part of that was the best of 3 playoff series of 2024. This was one of New York City's finest moments as a franchise. They're the underdogs. If it goes to 3 games, they're playing 2 of those here at TQL, where it's very difficult to get the W, and in a playoff situation as well. That's the Bailey that you're seeing on the picture right now to the left. That's where the supporters stand. That's the standing area. Thousands can stand there, and they put up a pretty nice roar in support of their boys here in Cincinnati.
And if you look at the monitor, and the people at home can't see, but on the monitors, the video boards are around the ground as well. They're showing the fans streaming into the stadium as well. The walk from downtown, I'm guessing, all the way up here to the stadium. There's a few fans munching on a couple of tacos as well as they go, but it's great to be here, Glenn, at a football-specific stadium, soccer-specific stadium. That wonderful Bailey to our left, Glenn, and it feels tight and compact, and it's always loud here. We've got a great vantage point, as you can see, from Glenn's camera angle. It really is. It's one of the best.
What's nice about it, we walk in here, and what we've been told in terms of the construction, one of the groups, I don't know it specifically, but the makeup of this stadium, the architecture, the construction, there were contributions from the same group that built Etihad Park, or is in the midst of constructing Etihad Park in Queens, where New York City will open next July 17th, 2027. So you walk in here and you get the feeling that it's going to be very, very similar to this. Yeah. You know, and it is loud.
Which is tight and compact, and we know that from the square footage or the square acreage. We've been told that by the powers that be, that it has to be. And because of the flight path as well, it's been dug down a little bit, but it's going to be compact and bijou, that's for certain. And look, if it's anything like this, Glenn, and you figure it will probably be a little bit better than this as well, because it's a bit newer and they've had more time to see how stadiums develop. I can't wait to be there at Etihad Park. But look, this is a good precursor, isn't it? Because it's a terrific atmosphere to watch games of football here.
We have our broadcast coming up, our radio, which many of you will not listen to on the radio. It'll be digital, whether it's on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer, in your car, on your Apple Play. However you come about it, it's the New York City FC Radio Network, nycfc.com/radio, or the NYCFC app, or the TuneIn app, and that's how you can dial in to our commentary. So we'll start with a pregame show at 7:15. We'll play the full Pascal Janssen conversation where he talks about Martinez. He talks about Max Murray and being very open about the mistake that Max Murray led to the game-winning goal for Philadelphia when New York City dropped that 2-0 advance. That's coming up at 7:15 with kickoff at 7:40. Up on the big board here, I just saw the weatherman. They did like a weather report. It looks like the weather is going to hold out. There was some threat of possible storms in the area, but I kind of glanced up and he was smiling and said, you know how weathermen are. When it's going to be nice, they smile and say everything's fine, and then they talk about highs and lows and west and east, and I don't know about
other
all
things
that.
You don't understand.
I just want to know what's going to happen. I don't really, honestly, I don't really care about the lows and the highs. Just want to know what's going to happen.
Thunder and lightning, please.
I just want to know that. Orlando City, by the way, played FC Cincinnati. So we're looking at Cincinnati's last game. Orlando City at home. And when we talk about conceding goals, Orlando City and FC Cincinnati are at the bottom of MLS, along with Sporting KC. I mean, boatloads. And we already talked about Salentano's goals against. Only 1-1 in Orlando. These two teams.
It's inexplicable. Orlando have conceded 48 and Cincinnati 45. And in FC Cincinnati's last 6 games, there's been a combined 32 goals. So 30 of them were in 5 games, and as you said to me off there, an anomaly of just 2 goals in the 6th game.
Well, the one thing, and you'll hear it with Pascal, but I asked him, you know, when you're conceding this many goals, because I asked him, what do you think of this Cincinnati team? How do you figure them out? When you're conceding that many goals, how do you sleep at night? I mean, I coached for a long time. When we conceded a lot of goals, I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
But Pascal's answer was, hey, 5-4 game, better for the fans. But I'll tell you what, if you're losing that game, you don't care about the fans.
A win is a win. A win is a win, and maybe it's my defensive outlook, but I would always rather win 1-0 than 5-4. I want to win, of course. I don't want to lose 5-4, but I'd much rather win 1-0.
You don't care about the fans, apparently.
No,
I mean,
apparently not.
They've paid their money. They want to see goals. So our expectation is that there will be goals here tonight.
There will be.
And New York City has put out a front 4 of Benny Traore on the left, Luigi up the middle, Agustino Ojeda on the right, and Nico Fernandez-Mercado at the number 10, who's just one off the Golden Boot. Peter Musa for Dallas scored in their last game, so he went to 14 on the season. And it's Fernandez-Mercado now in second, tied with Ugo Kuiper still with 13 goals. So we'll see if Fernandez-Mercado, I would imagine he'll be fairly energized after having been suspended for the Philadelphia match. We've seen him here on the road in the hotel, and he looks ready. He's himself, and he's one of the more fun players to watch in Major League Soccer. I want to do at least point out one more item. So this is hearkening back to 2016. That is me. That is John Rojas, who used to be on the Spanish side on radio, and that is Patrick Vieira. When we used to do the pregame show in the locker room, we would record it with the head coach, all the head coaches, starting with Jason Kreis and followed by Patrick Vieira. And then, now we're bringing up Patrick Vieira, Matty, because just yesterday he was named the head coach, going back to his roots, the place where he was born, the place where he grew up, Senegal.
Yeah.
And so now when we'll have maybe a more in-tune picture of African Nations Cup 2 when it occurs to see how Senegal's doing there. But congrats to Patrick as he finds his way back into managing.
Yeah, he hasn't signed his contract yet. I just read a little bit earlier.
Right.
So, but it's been certainly verbally agreed, and there's been lots of exclamations.
I think it's on his Instagram.
It's certainly on his Instagram, but the contract is not signed. I was reading on the BBC Sport. But yes, look, I want him to be very successful there. Patrick was always very good to you, Glenn, and very good to us as a whole. He treated us very fairly. He always told us that we could criticise his decisions, his team, as long as we came up with an answer
solution or something.
Offered a solution.
Have some solutions.
Not just say you are bad, but that was bad because X, Y, and Z. And he was great. And when it's a player of his stature who allows you and I to criticise as long as we give reason, I think that's fair enough. If he can handle criticism, then anyone can. Well, and the great Arsenal Inter Milan player.
No, and I will look, and I'm going to speak on behalf of Matty, but when Matty critiques the matches in our commentary, I think he always comes up with a reason and offers how it might have been better. And sometimes it seems very sharp, the criticism, but and I'm normally right on board, and we talk about it as a former coach and former professional player, and but a great moment. I hope you're not embarrassed that I'm going to play this again, Matt. It's just one of my favorite things. So we know that New York City up 4-2 against FC Cincinnati in late April at Yankee Stadium. Cincinnati scores twice in stoppage time. Evander from the penalty spot to make it 4-4. You have to listen. This is our commentary here on the radio network. This is why you need to listen to us, and then listen to Matty.
Monday was his first training session.
That was the goal to the right. He's a right footer, Evander. He approaches, shoots, and he has Freeze going the wrong way, and it is 4-4, still with 3 minutes remaining in the minimum 7 added here in the second half at Yankee Stadium.
What a shame, but again, we talked about it. We talked about the lapses in concentration. From the minute that the Chirilla strike went in, you could sense the nerves, the tension here. We're getting a look on our monitor at Pascal Janssen. Well, there's not smoke coming out of his ears, but there should be. He should be absolutely furious. Pat Noonan can't believe his luck. He's got champagne corks coming out of his ears.
And there you have it. Smoke and champagne.
Yep.
And there's a little question. And
you figure there'll be a bit of that both tonight.
Pat Noonan, assisted by Kenny Arena, Bruce Arena's son. He's been with Pat for quite some time. There, when Bruce Arena went to San Jose to re-energize that program, which he has done, one would figure his son will just go along with him. Didn't happen, and he's a big part of what Pat Noonan has done here at FC Cincinnati. All right, that's going to do it for us. We got to prep a little bit to get ready for our radio broadcast. Again, beginning at 7:15 Eastern, nycfc.com/radio, NYCFC app, or the TuneIn app. And I hope you'll make every effort to sync up the audio, us, with the video that you'll watch tonight if you are watching from home or wherever you are. Or if you're just listening, we'll paint the pictures for you to the best of our ability here at the TQL Stadium. A wonderful park, and we're expecting a wonderful game. So thanks so much for joining us here. For Matty, I'm Glenn, and we look forward to chatting with you on the broadcast. Enjoy the game, everybody.